The year is 1991. Michael Jordan has just won his first of 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls. A gallon of gasoline runs a few cents over $1, with new cars selling for an average of $15,000. And the first web server outside of Europe comes online, the start of a crazy idea called the World Wide Web. Needless to say, the last 3 decades have shown us that colossal change can occur in a relatively short amount of time. We have seen local staples come and go, leaving behind legacies that will remain in the hearts of Southern Indiana residents. We have also seen thriving businesses that we once considered untouchable fail to keep their doors open due to ever-changing demand. Even shopping malls, long considered the crown jewels of retail sales, just couldn't keep up with the changing landscape of commerce. But not everything was left in the past. We have seen revitalization, old friends overcoming challenges, and familiar jingles that will forever remain etched in our memories.
We're the affordable furniture store, Schmidt Furniture. On the furniture corner of State and Main in New Albany.
We have witnessed repurposing and complete overhauls, but more importantly, we have found success. These last 30 years have shown us that despite the highs and lows that go along with sustaining a community, the people are what truly makes Southern Indiana feel like home. And the people of Clark and Floyd County have been the biggest contributors to the success of the Community Foundation since our humble beginnings back in 1991.
In 1991, when this concept of a community foundation started, there were rumblings about it earlier. There was a group of nonprofit leaders now who were connected with Lilly Endowment programs, and when we heard that this was going to happen, the excitement was awesome because the potential that it had for our community was just tremendous. But then reality set in. It's like, okay, how are we going to do this? How do we make this happen? Because it wasn't just a gift from Lilly Endowment. Yes, it was, but it was also, we need to start raising money in our community. And as members of nonprofits, we were like, okay, we're just barely making it through day to day with our own resources. How do we do something like this? And that concept of a foundation and people giving to it to start endowments or funds, it's like, it was just a whole different beast. We knew, based on all the resources that Lilly Endowment provided to make this happen, we knew it was probably at least going to be successful, but never in our wildest dreams did we realize how successful it might be.
Founded as the region's partner, resource, and steward in philanthropy, the foundation currently manages $161 million in charitable assets and administers more than 265 individual funds, each of which supports the unique charitable intent of the donor who established the fund. The foundation also takes the time to educate current and potential donors on what their gifts can provide to the community for years to come.
The Community Foundation over the years has been a great teaching tool for philanthropy. I think there are a lot of families who have funds with the Community Foundation and now understand kind of generational giving. They've made many grants to many of our local organizations and have supported them in ways that wouldn't have been possible without the Community Foundation.
As the foundation continued its growth through the early 2000s, more and more organizations around Southern Indiana were looking for a helping hand. From historic Nahan Fieldhouse in the heart of downtown Jeffersonville to the Heritage Preservation Association in the small township of Bethlehem, there was no shortage of need. This meant that additional resources were essential to keep up with the increasing number of projects. Thanks to gifts from the Lilly Endowment, CFSI had the opportunity to hire interns who not only gained valuable professional experience, but also learned about giving back while working in the nonprofit sector.
Professionally, I was able to learn about preparation for important meetings, events, working closely with the board of directors and Linda Speed, the CEO. Mike Wise was here at that time when I started. It was just a great learning opportunity for me as a professional, as a career woman, and really helped me to set my pace into my career and really growing into a high level of professionalism.
Professionalism is also an expectation of the dozens of students who receive scholarships through the foundation each year. Thanks to the generosity of our donors, our scholarship program continues to reach even more students from a variety of backgrounds.
We have been blessed to be able to go to college pretty easily, but not everybody has that opportunity. And so we wanted to have a scholarship fund to help students that maybe don't get that help at home, because we understand the best way up and out of poverty and to a better life is to get a college education, to get some kind of training after high school.
In 2021, 88 scholarships were awarded, granting out nearly $650,000 in financial aid to the class of 2021. That includes the Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship Program, which covers all 4 years of education at any college or university in the state.
It's to really just raise the educational attainment in Indiana so people can experience the things that I'm experiencing at Notre Dame. Because without the Lilly Scholarship, I would not have been at Notre Dame. And I feel just so blessed to have this opportunity to be here.
More recently, the Community Foundation has expanded its reach even further to include 2 new resources: the Community Needs Assessment and the Quality of Place Grant Program. Spearheaded by Dr. Melissa Fry and her student research team at Indiana University Southeast, the Community Needs Assessment was released in 2015 to offer the public a glimpse into our area's greatest needs, the highest priorities for funding, and gaps and overlaps that exist in services and funding. That report was updated in 2020, exploring future aspirations for building on the area's assets to address the greatest challenges throughout the community.
I think the greatest utility of the community needs assessment comes from giving people in different areas of the community who do different kinds of work an opportunity to connect what they see in their own little sector that they work in to other issues in the community. So I think people better understand that everyone in the community, or not everyone, but a large share of our community is very concerned about issues around housing, substance abuse, mental health services, that these aren't just small portions of the community that have these concerns. This is a widespread set of concerns that needs real attention from various sectors in our community.
While the needs assessment made it clear there were barriers in place for some community members, the Quality of Place Pathways to Progress grant program focused on how to begin making our area more accessible for everyone, especially those with the least access to safe public places and amenities. The hope was that the Quality of Place projects would not only help transform our region, but would also help make our parks, trails, and other public spaces more accessible to our most vulnerable residents and welcoming to all types of people.
This program allows us to build on what we already have that no one else can steal. Look, you can steal an NFL team. We've seen that done. You can't steal what's behind me. You can't steal the soul of the region. So the business proposition is quite simple. How do I amplify that? How do I build that up? Because that becomes a competitive advantage for our region for attracting talent, for attracting economic investment, and I think even more importantly, making our community more healthy for everyone. So everyone, regardless of income, age bracket, whatever, has access to a great, healthy, active, and engaged quality of life.
We have also lent a helping hand to our neighbors during times of need. The last decade has brought on many unexpected challenges, such as the series of tornadoes that ravished Henryville and surrounding communities, as well as the COVID-19 worldwide pandemic. But even in times of natural disaster, it has led to extraordinary compassion and results from our southern Indiana community. From installing early warning sirens for severe weather to opening food banks during COVID, our donors have used their gifts, both big and small, to become hometown heroes to those in need around them. As Christopher Reeve reminded us in a way that only Superman can, a hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. If you drive around Clark and Floyd Counties in southern Indiana, the impact the Community Foundation and its generous donors have had on the area is clearly visible. From the precision and power of the award-winning Jeffersonville High School Band to the strength and resiliency of Cardinal Joseph E. Ritter, our legacies are felt far and wide. And those gifts will continue to be utilized by future generations. Whether they are looking for motivation to improve their physical health or wanting an interactive glimpse into the powerful history of Clark County, the foundation and its donors have helped ensure generosity that will last throughout our area forever. As for the next 30 years, let's just say we have some very ambitious plans.
In 30 years, gosh, when you think about what's happened in these first 30 years, it's almost unbelievable how far we've come in this very short amount of time. The potential over the next 30 years, I think, is endless. I mean, people are just now beginning to see the impact a community foundation can have. As a member of the board of directors of the New Albany Floyd County Education Foundation, which is a supporting organization of the Community Foundation. I remember when we first started that years ago, it's like, okay, the Community Foundation is the perfect place to do something like this, to have a fund that's going to benefit our teachers and administrators and our students in our schools. The Community Foundation's got all the resources to help us do what we need to do as an education foundation. So it just made sense to connect it to the Community Foundation. I think down the road, 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now, there are going to be all sorts of opportunities where people are going to say, this is the place where we need to provide resources for causes that we care about, whether it's additional supporting organizations or the opportunities for endowments is just unlimited. So I hope I live long enough to see the impact that Community Foundation of Southern Indiana will have 30 years from now. I think it's going to be incredibly exciting and transformational to our community here.